Hey everybody, Steve Ritter. I've missed a couple of Sundays now. I was traveling quite a bit before I left for Abu Dhabi. Or Dubai. That's where I'm at now. Um, I was actually listening to some music um, last week, and I think the Lord really kind of put this on my heart. But it's of all things, it was a John Denver song, Rocky Mountain High. And you normally you don't sing that in church, uh, but there's one, if you know it. I mean, I love John Denver's music and his voice and all, but there's one line in that song that I really like, and he's talking about being up on the mountain and out there, and it says, "Talk to God and listen to the casual reply." And I pictured the image of that, being out there in nature and being surrounded by the majesty of nature, and I talked about that before. Peter talked about that, said that nature, everything reveals God and the nature of God and who God is, and everything testifies of God, and just being out there in that grandeur and thinking about that, and talking with God, and Paul talks about that, about always being prayerful and always talking with God and praying, and always praying, and I think about that and about talking with God, and I think about the stories of Adam in the Garden of Eden before the fall, and he and God would walk and talk all the time, and how wonderful that must have been, and in that song, just thinking about that, and I've been outside before and had those moments where you're looking and you're just taken in by it all, and just thanking God. I think about that a lot. Um, and just imagine that he's right there, talking with me, and being a friend and a father, and he is, isn't he? I was thinking about the times, and then I was thinking about the story of Elijah in First Kings chapter 19, and it was one particular point. I think this was out right after he had killed all the priests of Baal, and of course Ahab and Jezebel were after him in a big way. And Jezebel especially, I'm gonna kill you for that. And he went out into the wilderness, and God fed him, and then he gave him the strength to travel to Mount Horeb, and he went there, and and he said, the Lord told him in verse 11, "You go stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord. The Lord's about to pass by." It's a powerful wind tore the mountain, and then there was an earthquake, but God wasn't in any of that. Um, and then um, and a great fire. But then there came a gentle whisper, and Elijah heard it and went out, and God was there. And just that gentle whisper, that voice of God, is not overpowering. Sometimes he is, of course, when Moses and the children of Israel were there. Um, the Mount of God. I mean, it was a terrifying cloud and voice, and I think sometimes God talks to us in that gentle whisper, that quickening in our spirit. There's not many people that have heard the audible voice of God. I think some people have, and I think he does talk to people. I can tell you one story. I'll never forget this. Um, was it God? Was it an angel? I don't know. I have to ask him one day. But we were living in Germany, and it was the middle of the night, and we had gone out to dinner or something. I forget what we had got onto him about, something with William, son William, and then at the time, see, this was 2005 or so, I think. So he was about 10, and 10 or 11, and we had gotten onto him about something, and he of course was upset about it. And Will, is pretty quiet and internalizes a lot of things. He's very cerebral and thoughtful man, and it bothered him what we said, and it bothered him so much. We always kind of joke with him that he was the little old man. He always very mature for his age, but it bothered him so much. He's like, you know what? I don't feel right about how I am as a Christian, and I'm going to go out and get away and pray. And so he he decided in the middle of the night that he was going to take his Bible and he was going to go walk out from our house. We lived in a small farming town in Germany at the time. He was going to go walk out and just kind of go out into the field next to the village and just kind of sit under a tree and pray and kind of get himself right. Which, if you're a grown man, I mean, that's fine. Not when you're 10, and certainly not in the middle of the night, on a school night. So he decided he was going to just go. So I found out about this afterwards. So I'm sleeping. It was the middle of the night, and it was kind of in this half dream, I was maybe in between dreams or something. I swear I heard this voice go, "Stephen, wake up." I swear, I just, because I popped wide awake, and I'm like, normally Arlene was always the one to get up with the kids, and of course she's a super light sleeper, so anytime they like coughed or whatever, she's awake and checking on them, and would get up all through the night checking the kids, and Benjamin used to get so mad because she would come in there. She would come in there and she's like, "Oh, he's too hot sleeping," and she would like take his pajama bottoms off because he was so hot. He was a hot sleeper, and he'd wake up in the morning. He'd wake up in the morning and go, "Where's my pants?" He'd get so upset with her. Anyway, so back to the story. I don't know why. I don't know, because I never did that. I mean, I woke up and it just didn't. And I'm sitting there, and I was like, I rolled back over, and I'm like, and I never do that. And it's so unsettled me. And I'm like going, boy, that was strange hearing that. And I got up and I went in there to check on the kids, and of course there's Nathan and there's Benjamin, there's Bella and Will's, and we're like, okay, I remember now. He wanted to sleep. We lived, there was like a lot of the German houses, there was like 4 floors, and he wanted to sleep down at the bottom that night for some reason. Of course, now I know why, because he was gonna sneak out, and I'm like, okay, yeah, he's down there. So I go all the way down the stairs, all the way down there, and I look in, and he wasn't there. And then I walk back up all the way upstairs to where the kids were. He wasn't there, and of course now I'm starting my cackles are starting to go up, and I'm going, what's going on here? Go back down, check again, come back up again, and I'm like, and then I check the front door. The German doors, they typically, the ones we had, they had a key to them, and we would lock the door, and it was like an old timey, the key sticking out. And I checked the door was unlocked, because you couldn't, because it was like a bolt that you would turn in. So once you open it, went outside, it didn't lock. And I'm going, oh no, what? And then it dawned on me that William was not in the house. And so we were scrambling all around and everything else, and we called one of his friends. Hey, did he go over there? No, hey, keep an eye out. So we're going, oh my gosh, what happened? And so I told Darlene to keep calling, and I ran outside, hopped in the car, and I'm going, well, maybe he's outside or something. And I'd start driving down the street, and I got about halfway down our street, and there he was walking down the road. And William, what are you doing? And I got him in the car and brought him home. So everything turned out fine, thank God. But I'm looking at the timing and how long, for me to come all the way down and up and down and up. And then by the time I got out to the car down, it was about the time from him walking out the door and outside. I believe it. I think that it's true. I think that it was God in that moment, or an angel at that moment, waking me up right when he was leaving the house, telling me, wake up. So I do believe God talks to us, and it's those moments, like that. And then there's plenty of moments too where you sit and you look out and you see something, or you see your children, or or you see something in particular, just really, and it's those times when I just thankful, thankful for all that He does, and the Heavenly Father that He is. Then I sit and I thank God, and I talk with Him, and I just imagine that He's there with me. It just makes Him more real. He is real, obviously, but it just makes it more real to me. Just imagining that He's there, and because He is. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of share that with you a little bit. Hearing from God and talking with God, and I got to throw in a John Denver song in there too. So anyway, I hope these are a blessing to you, like they are to me, to just share these and talk about my love for the Lord. And I just appreciate you all, and thanks for the comments and the encouragement and everything else. And I hope you all have a great day, and take care and be blessed.